Hey guys, Mike here at Image Tutorials, and welcome back to a new tutorial. All right, well, in front of you, you see a concept art that has been created by Malika. That is the only information that I could find online. So if you know Malika or you recognize this concept art, let me know, and I'd gladly add the credits. Okay, and I thought it would be cool to model this guy. All right. So I only have this image and I projected it in two planes, and that's what we're going to start with. Okay. So what I'll actually do is I'll just move this guy out and we'll roughly take it from the front and we'll start there. Okay. So let's start with a polygon cube and we'll work from this angle right there, and we'll switch to this view. We'll bring that up and we'll turn on our X-ray. There we go. We'll hit F to zoom in. We'll hit R. We'll scale that up and scale that out to about so. And as you can see, these edges have been beveled, so we're going to do the same. Okay. And we're not quite sure yet, as far as the side view is concerned, how far back that should be. So I'm going to line this guy out. I'm going to select my image plane and we'll hit W to move it to about there, and then we'll turn our X-ray on from here as well, and we can kind of see the top here. So we'll bring that in and we'll take our reference image, hit W, and move that to about there. All right. Okay, then we're going to take this guy and we're going to move in, right click edge, and we're going to take these edges and we'll do the sides as well. Like so. And we're going to go up to mesh and, edit mesh and bevel. And then we're going to go into our fraction. And let's bring that down to about there. That looks about right. Okay. Now that's from the back view. So let's just check this guy out. Looks like it has a similar shape inside in the back, but it's not sticking all the way out to the front, because in the front it's more round. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll right click at object mode, take this guy, hit Control D to duplicate, E to rotate. We'll rotate that and switch to this view. Let W and bring that down, and R to scale in. And then we're going to right click, go to vertex, right click the bottom here, hit W and bring that up. Okay. Now, like I said, that is sticking out from the back only. So we're going to right click, go to object mode, and we're going to move that out. And we kind of have to guess how far that's sticking out. So we're going to switch to this view. Let's see. To this view, sorry. Yep. We're going to pull that back to about there. That looks to be right. And we just have to alter the bottom here. Right click at a vertex. Take these vertices and bring that up to about there. Okay. Now from the front we have that circle, but we also have that block in the middle section of the body there, this one. So we can reuse this guy again. Control D to duplicate. Let's look at the angle. We're going to hit E and we're going to rotate that forward to 90 degrees. Then we're going to rotate it sideways to -90. We're going to switch views. We're going to hit W and we're going to bring that down. And then we're going to hit R, and I'm going to scale it in and bring it down. Now our reference image is at an angle somewhat, so we're going to kind of follow the symmetry that we have from our own object, and then we're going to check it from this view to see where that should be positioned. That would be about there. The only problem is it's kind of hard to see how far that's sticking out in the front. So let's see. Okay, that's the back where that's sticking out. That's fine. And in the front, okay, it's not supposed to stick out. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to right click, go to vertex, drag select those and pull them in like that. Okay. Then we're going to take that polygon pipe in the front there, create that, pull that up, hit E to rotate, rotate forward to 90 degrees, and we're going to hit Control A for our attribute editor. And let's give this 40 subdivisions. Okay. Then we're going to check our front view. So we're going to get this guy. We're going to hit W and I'm going to move that over. Now again, this is not at a perfect front angle, so we're going to have to work with that. We're going to take this, we're going to bring that in, F to zoom in, and R to scale in. And we're going to try to fit this roughly to where we need to be with this guy. Then we're going to go and increase the thickness. Let's do 0.7. Not too bad. And now let's see. It's sticking out just slightly and we want it to be centered, obviously. So we're going to go back in. We're going to turn off our X-ray. Actually, let's hit 4 for wireframe mode. Let's see if that helps us somewhat. Okay, good from that angle. And from that point of view, it's actually okay to stick out somewhat, as you can see here. We just need to bring the back in. So right click vertex, drag select all of that and bring that in like so. And then we got that. And then let's look at the bottom section. Okay, now that's kind of pulled in a bit. So we can reuse this section. Control D to duplicate, W to pull down. Then we're going to hit R and we're going to push it in from this view, like so. We will right click, go to vertex, select the whole bottom section and push that in from that angle. And then we're going to take these, hit W and push it in from that angle. And I'm going to take all of these and bring that up. And we're just going to get in front of this guy so we can kind of see how far we need to be. That looks about right. Okay, so we got all that. Now let's look at our shoulders. Okay, so we're going to start with a Polygon Cylinder. Let's pull that up, hit E, let's rotate that to 90 degrees. And let's hit W and move that over. Have to zoom in. We're going to hit R and we're going to scale that up. That should be about right. Let's give that 40 subdivisions. Well, that's a bit much. Let's do 30. Then let's move that in. W to move in. Now from this angle we can see how far that shoulder should stick out. So we'll do it in this view here. We'll bring that in. Hit R, scale that down. And as it is tilted just a little bit, we'll just turn off our X-ray. That should be about right. Okay. I have to zoom in. We don't want that to be inside our main mesh there. Now we're going to have a little pipe inside there. So we're going to hit Control D to duplicate, R to pull out, and R to scale in. Let's pull it out some more and scale that in some more. And I push that back. And then we're going to have this nut up there. We'll take a Polygon Cylinder, pull that up, and we'll bring the poly count down to 6, like so. E to rotate that to 90 degrees. Let's switch to this view and turn back on our X-ray. W to move in there, F to zoom in. We'll hit 4 for wireframe mode so we can see it better. And we're going to hold down X and we're going to snap it. Sorry, V and snap it. Hit R, scale that down to about so. Have to zoom in. W to pull out to about there. And just to have it extrude from both ends, we're going to go in here, 4 for wireframe mode, right click vertex, drag select that end and extrude it from the other end. I'll turn back on 5 so we can see it. All right, so we got that. Now, as far as the upper arm is concerned, that's a bit hard to see. So we're going to focus on the midsection first. And let's view that from a few angles. Looks to be a rectangle that is beveled. So we'll do the same. We'll take a cube. We'll pull that up. And let's go into this view here. Move that in here. Have to zoom in. 5 for shaded mode with our X-ray on. Hit R, scale it up from this angle. And let's make sure it's square. So let's do 2 by 2 and then bring it in and bring it up like so. We're going to hit W to move that back. And then from this view, we'll turn on our X-ray. We'll bring it down to about there. And it's going to be tilted. That's why it looks stretched from this end. We're going to hit F to zoom in. And we're going to right click and go to Edge. And take these edges and go to Mesh Tools. Sorry, Edit Mesh and Bevel. And then we're going to pull back the fraction to, let's see, 0.2. Okay. And then we have these 3 little cylinders going on there. Let's get this guy in position first. From this view, turn off our X-ray, right click object mode, hit W and bring that back there. Let's see, what's that? No. Actually, this was pretty accurate, but we're focusing on this guy up here. We'll short that in a second. Now, before we tilt that, we're going to create our small cylinders. And let's do 20, that's fine. We're going to hit E, we're going to rotate it. Minus 90. We're going to switch to this view. And W, where this guy go? Let's turn on our X-ray. Now we're just gonna focus on the size of this thing for a sec. So we're gonna hit R, we're gonna scale that up to about there. Hit W, bring that back. Then in our perspective view, I'm gonna make sure that this is centered and we'll push that in. Let's turn off our X-ray. Control D to duplicate. We'll just turn on 4 so we can see it better. And Shift D to repeat. Okay. We'll select all 3. Raise them up just slightly. And then we'll drag select the whole thing, go to Mesh and Combine. And now we can hit E, go to Modify Center Pivot first. Hit W, raise that up somewhat. Okay. So that's that. Now let's see what the deal is with the arm. That looks to be a pipe that has been flattened somewhat. So we're going to take a Polygon Cylinder, we're going to pull that up. And let's do 30 subdivisions. Let's bring that in. I'm going to turn off my X-ray for a second. We're going to hit E and we're going to rotate. And W to bring in. We're going to hit R to scale up. E to rotate back a little and turn back on our X-ray. We're going to hit R and we're going to push it back a little bit. And that looks to be alright from this angle. From this view, we're going to hit W. We're going to bring that in. F to zoom in. Let's hit 5 for shaded mode. Turn off our X-ray. And there you have it. Have to zoom in. And then looks like we need to tweak it a little bit. So first we're going to look at the thickness. So we're going to turn on our X-ray again. We're going to hit R and we're going to squish that in just a bit. Okay. Let's hit R, scale that out a little. And then we're going to scale the whole thing down just a bit. Like so. And we're going to right click our vertex, drag select all these top vertices, hit W, double click on the move tool, switch world to object mode. So we can now stretch that in. And it's still sticking out of the shoulder, as you can see. So we're going to bring it in like so. All right. So we got that. Now we're going to deal with the hand section. Okay. So for that, we're going to take this guy, right click face, edit mesh, extrude, and we'll just close this thing out. We're going to hit R, and let's pull that in to about there. G to repeat, W to pull out. G to repeat, R to scale out. In this case, we're going to scale it out like so, and in this direction. And then G to repeat and W to pull down, which will be the main hand section, to about there. And we're slightly off from our reference, so we'll do it like so. Okay, well, let's see what we got. All right. So then we're going to deal with our fingers, but first we need to create these three little horizontal bars. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take a polygon cube, and we will hit E, and we'll rotate that 90 degrees. Right click object mode, hit W, move that in, and down, F to zoom in. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale that down quite a bit. F to zoom in, W to move up. And now let's try to match the angle. So we're going to turn off our X-ray here. We're going to hit E, we're going to rotate, and W to pull in. And we'll hit Control D to duplicate. We'll move that down, and Shift D to repeat that. So let's check that out. Okay. And then we're going to work on our fingers. Now our fingers seem to be simple cubes that have cylinders in it. Okay. So we're going to make a nice little square. And what we'll do is we will set it to 1 by 1 by 1 initially. And then we'll take a small sphere and bring that in. And what we'll do to make sure this is centered is we're going to set the translate values of our cube to 0. So it's exactly in the center of our grid. And we'll do the same with our sphere. Then we're going to hit F to zoom in. Just move my image plane out of the way for a sec. So if we hit 4 for wireframe mode, and I just want to select my cube, so I'm going to select both, and then deselect my cube, bring that out, 5 for shaded mode, and I'm going to take these two and go to mesh and combine. Okay, let's hit W and start to move that towards where our hand needs to be, and then we're going to go to this view, and let's bring that down here, and we're going to need to eyeball that somewhat, so we're going to hit R to scale that down until we roughly have the size of one of these cubes, and that seems to be right. We're going to hit E, we're going to rotate that and match the angle of the hand. Have to zoom in, E to rotate, and W to bring up, not all the way, just rotate that some more. And now you can clearly see that the hand is moving down, so Control D, we're going to move that down, and then we're going to hit E and we're going to rotate that, and hit W and move that a bit more, and then we're going to hit Shift D. Okay, have to zoom in. We're going to select these three, and we're going to bring that in from this view. Now there's a possibility that they are too thick. It looks like they are. So we're going to hit R. Let's bring them in a little bit. And then we're going to take all of these three here. Control D to duplicate. W to move over. Leave a little space between them. And hit Shift D. Okay. We're going to select all of these. We're going to go to Mesh and Combine. And now from this view, we're going to go to Modify Center Pivot. It looks like they need to come in a little bit. And come down a little bit. Okay, they're sticking out a little bit, so we're going to hit R and we're going to bring them in. That seems to be all right. Okay, now we're going to need to create two for the thumb. So I'm going to go up to Mesh and Separate, take this guy, Control D, sorry, first combine these two, Mesh, Combine, Control D, Modify Center Pivot, pull that out and pull that up. It's not exactly the same angle as we had, but that's fine. Turn on our X-ray. Thumb is about there. So we're going to look at it from this angle. Okay. And I'm going to take this guy, Mesh and Separate. Take this, Control D to duplicate. Modify Center Pivot. Move that in and move that up. And we're going to want one on the outside as well. Okay. So we're going to hit Control D. We're going to pull that out. We're going to hit E and we're going to rotate that downwards to 90 degrees. We're going to hit W and we're going to bring that down. Turn off our X-ray. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, so we'll do it here. And then we'll hit R and we'll kind of round it out a bit. All right, so we got that. Then the second section for our thumb, we'll take this, Control D to duplicate, modify center pivot, pull that down. For wireframe mode, so we can kind of see it a bit better. And I'll pull it up here, hit E, rotate that a bit, hit W and position it right there. Okay, so that's one arm and most of the body. So what we can do now is first check for a connection on the shoulder there. I think that's okay. So from this angle, I'll drag select all of that. Go to Mesh Combine, modify center pivot. And then we're going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special, Option Box. I want an instance in -x. And I usually mess this up, so hopefully I don't this time. Actually, I did it correctly, which is nice. Now let's just position that. Looks all right. Okay, now let's focus on the head. Okay, so we've got a couple of things going on there. First, let's deal with the back. Okay, we're going to take a polygon cube. We're going to move that up. And let's move that up here and hit F to zoom in. Okay, we're going to hit R. And we're going to scale it out 2 ways. And again, the projection is not perfect. It's close, but not perfect. Then we're going to go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edgeloop Tool, Option Box, Multiple, and we'll do 2. We'll add them right there. Hit R. Scale them up like so. And then we're going to move into this view. Hit Q on our keyboard. Actually, I need 2 more, sorry. Mesh Tools, Insert Edgeloop Tool. 2 more. Hit R, scale that out. To there. That looks a bit off for some reason. Oh, there you go. Okay. And then I'm going to right click at a face, select that face, shift select that one, edit mesh, extrude. Like that. Right click face, delete. That didn't work out. Control Z, Control Z. Just go back a few steps. Yeah, we're going to approach that in a slightly different way. I'm going to take these and go to Edit Mesh and Extrude. Hit R, push that out. And then we're going to go into this view, turn off our X-ray. Don't tell me I did it in the wrong. No, that should be fine. Just wondering why it's not showing up like that. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, 5 for shaded mode. We're gonna right click on our vertex. We're gonna take all of these vertices, hit W and start to bring that in. And then we'll take these vertices and bring them out like so. We'll take these vertices there and these there. Sorry that took a while, guys. Okay, so that's that. Then from this view, right click object mode. Let's move it over here. Have to zoom in. 4 for wireframe mode. Angle isn't perfect, but we'll bring that back to about there. And then right click on vertex, take those to about there. Okay. Right click object mode, bring it in. Checking with our model here. Let's see if that's correct. Yep. Just need to tweak this a bit. Not quite sure what the problem is there, but I'll sort that in a sec. We'll approach it from our top view. Right click object mode. Let's bring that in. Okay. Then we're gonna borrow some stuff, mainly this. Mesh separate. We'll take these two. And we'll go to mesh and combine. And then we'll Control D to duplicate. Modify center pivot. Move that up. Where did my other arm go? Okay, we'll copy that over in a sec. We're gonna hit E, we're gonna rotate that over to 90 degrees. Okay. We're gonna hit 5 for shaded mode. And we'll take this guy, hit W and pull that back to about there. Take this whole thing, bring that up, hit R and scale that up quite a bit. Hit E, rotate that slightly and bring that in. Okay, now we just need to move it in from this point of view. I have to zoom in. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll get there. There we go. Now we're going to focus on the top of his head. Okay. For that, we'll take a polygon cube and we'll move that up. And we'll bring that down. I have to zoom in. 4 for wireframe mode. Let's bring that into about there. Right click vertex, take these two and bring that in there. I have to zoom in. I'll do 5 for wireframe mode so we can at least, you can see it a little bit better. We'll do X-ray. Okay, now let's assume that this is level, so we'll bring that up. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll bring that down. We're going to go to Mesh Tools, into the Edgeloop tool option box, and let's do 7. Maybe it's a bit much. 6. There we go. Let's close that out. Right click, go to vertex, and let's start to bring them in. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so let's keep on going. Bring that down. And bring that down and take that one out a little bit. I have to zoom in. All right. And then we're going to go to Insert Edgeloop Tool option box, single setting. I'll move on in there, move on up there. Q on our keyboard, right click object mode and hit 3 to smooth out. That's a bit much, so I hit 1 to go back. Not quite sure if we need to smooth it out. No, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so we're gonna select it. We're gonna go to modify center pivot. We're gonna move it out. Let's go to this view, pull it in, and what I'll do is I'll take my reference image and just move that out of the way for a sec and turn off my X-ray, because we're at a point where it's not exactly our reference anymore. Okay. Then we're going to hit Control D to duplicate that. We're going to pull that down and hit E and flip it over to -180, which is cool. From that view, and we'll turn off X-ray here as well. And from this point on, we're going to check it this way. So we have some elements on the back here that we need to put in. So for that, what we'll do is we'll go in and take these, mesh, combine, modify center pivot, Control D to duplicate, W to move up, F to zoom in, and E to rotate. Let's see, from this view, okay. And then we're going to rotate them again, 90 degrees. Let's set that to 0 and bring that forward. Then we're going to double click on the move tool and we're going to go back to world mode. Bring that down and in and out. And these guys are on the back right there. All right. Now let's look at his eyes. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. So for his eyes, I'll just turn this off. We're going to take a Polygon Cylinder. We're going to pull that up. Then we're going to go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edgeloop Tool, Option Box, Single Setting. Yep. We'll set one right there. Q on our keyboard. And then we're going to right click at a face. We're going to select the entire bottom face row. And we're going to skip one here. And we're going to go to Edit Mesh and Extrude. Pull out on the thickness, like so. And then we're going to take these. And we'll fix that in a sec. edit mesh, extrude, hit W and pull that out like so. And then we just need to fix these vertices. And let's see from what view. From this view right here. Right click vertex, drag select, 4 for wireframe mode. Let's snap them down. Okay. All right. So now we've got that. Right click object mode, E to rotate to minus 90 degrees. R to scale down. Have to zoom in. Let's hit W and move that towards our guy. Have to zoom in, E to rotate to 90 degrees. Let's hit W and bring that down. Let's bring that up. We're going to hit R. We're going to scale that in. Let's make sure that fits. And it does. We're going to hit W. We're going to bring it forward. And then we're going to right click at a vertex and drag select these vertices and bring that back and in. And then right click object mode. And we'll do one here and control D and we'll do one there. Okay. Let's get that arm copied over again. Not sure what happened with the other one. We're going to go to edit, duplicate special, option box, instance. That's still all good. Oh, sorry about that. Control Z, Control Z. We need to go to mesh and combine, modify center pivot, edit, delete, and not delete that, duplicate special, option box, and apply. There we go. Hit W and bring that over. And there you have it. And now we're going to load a new reference image for the bottom part. So we're going to go to View, Image Plane, Import Image, Robot 2. Let's hit R and scale that up. So we kind of got something to look at here. All right. So we need to create a cylinder for the hip. So we'll do a cylinder like so. Let's push that towards our grid. Have to zoom in. And then let's go in and do 30 subdivisions and 0 caps. And then we'll right click at a face, select these two faces and go to edit mesh and extrude. Hit R, scale that in, G to repeat, and R to scale upwards, like so. Right click object mode, E to rotate, to minus 90. Let's hit W and bring that in. I have to zoom in. Let's bring that down and in. For wireframe mode. Just gonna bring that out there. We're gonna hit R, we're gonna push it in a little. Hit W and bring that in like so. And then for the bottom section of the foot, we'll take this guy, Control D to duplicate, pull it down, hit E to rotate to -90. And we're going to rotate in this direction as well to -90. And let's hit R and scale that in. And scale it in from this end as well. And we're going to hit W and we're going to raise that up to a point where we're just at the fingers. Let's hit R and scale it in a bit more from this end. That looks fine. And let's push it back a little. All right. And then we're going to hit Control D to duplicate, R to scale up, and R to scale in, and up again. Now we want the upper leg to be inside there. That's fine. This guy, we're going to right click, go to vertex, and we're going to hit W, and we're going to bring that up to about there. And that looks all right. And then we're going to create some feet. So for that, we'll do a polygon cube. Give that some height. Bring that in and push that down. Hit R to scale in. Let's give it some width. W to bring that in. Like so. Then we're going to right click, go to vertex, take the front, and W and bring that down to about there. And after we copy the leg, we're going to tweak the toes. Okay, so we're going to right click, go to object mode, and we'll take all the elements, go to mesh combine, modify center pivot, and then we're going to go to edit and duplicate special option box, and we still have all the same settings, so we're just going to hit OK. We're going to hit W and we're going to move that over, and just check our guy from the front, hit 5 for shaded mode and turn off our X-ray. Okay, then we're going to select these two guys, go to mesh and separate. Sorry. First we're going to select all this stuff, go to edit and delete by type history, and now we can take these and go to mesh and separate. That should not happen. Control D, mesh, separate, there you go. We're going to take the feet, we're going to W, center pivot, W, bring that up just a tad. And then from the top view, we're going to right click on a vertex, take these vertices and these vertices and push them back in like so. And then we're going to need, actually, we're not going to need much. What we need is one more cylinder that we're going to bring in, and that's going to be his neck. Okay, that looks all right. Okay, let's drag select the whole thing and go to mesh and combine, modify center pivot. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale this up a little bit. And this is our guy so far. Okay, well, that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to texture and light this guy. All right, see you guys then. Bye.